Foster, a couple of weeks ago, you guys went through, some controversy, and you guys have obviously handled it, coming back with 2 straight wins. What do you think that says about what's going on in that locker room right now?
We got a special group of guys, and they understand the mission. And unfortunately, the lines got a little crossed, but those guys are really special, and they absolutely picked it up, and we rallied around each other, and we've been blessed to find ways to win the past 2 weeks.
Foster, at what point did you know that? Sorry, right here. Did you know that Darren Waller wasn't going to be able to go for this game? And what was it like knowing that this game you were going to be the man, basically?
Just a few hours before kickoff, honestly. It's just late in the week, and worked our butt off with Darren for the past 48 hours to try to get him ready to go. He sets the standard, right? He's our guy. He's our offense. He's a big leader on this team, and obviously I have a lot of reverence for the guy. But it was just a few hours before he kind of went out and tried to run on it, and just it wasn't popping the way normal. So he said, all right, he kind of gave up the reins, and he was awesome on the sideline, and really thankful for Darren.
Foster, a lot of good drives on efficiency, but 96 yards on that one where you guys seem to grab a hold of things. Can you talk about that drive and to be able to do that after they pin you guys to go all the way back and get that touchdown?
Yeah, these guys are fighters, but honestly, you got to give it up to the defense there, right? It's incredible what they were able to do. Unbelievable fight that those guys have. Was that to be honest, I black out a little bit in there. But was that the drive?
10 plays, 96.
Was that the drive after the fumble?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to give it up to those guys. They ran a quarterback sneak. Max Crosby jumped over the line of scrimmage and got the guy in the backfield. It's unbelievable the fight that those guys have. And when they make a play like that, there's nothing we could do but rally, right, and respond and just drive down the field, big chunk plays, and just fight our way down there. Did that finish with Brian
Jacobs?
That was Josh. That was Josh in the end.
Yeah.
God bless. These guys are incredible. They're such a special group of guys, and care about each other so much. I hope that answers it.
So, could you just walk us through the touchdown catch? It was a pretty amazing catch. Kind of pinned it on him there. So, what did you see, and how did it feel to get that catch?
Great question. So I read pre-snap that it was going to be a 2-shell, and on the snap of the ball, I looked up. It had rolled, and I was in danger, and I ran for 5 yards like the Tasmanian devil, and had no idea what I was doing. And thank God for Derek just giving me a chance, and again, just kind of blacked out on the catch. Still really haven't seen it, but just happy to get in. Happy to get in. I'm sure. I'm not on Twitter much.
Foster, the attacking by using the pass to set up the run has allowed these young offensive linemen to really mature and grow the last couple of games. Would you talk about using that pass attack and the maturation in your young offensive linemen, please?
Sure. I can't speak enough about our offensive line, and them going down with injury and coming back and fighting tooth and nail at the line of scrimmage against a great Philadelphia front. Those guys can really play. Their 5-down structure is real. But Derek was on the money today, and our receivers were really running well. And it's very helpful when we could back guys off with the pass, and the receivers are. Those guys are incredibly helpful with that. Hammer and Hank Aaron, Henry Ruggs, as we'd call them in the past, is. Guy's a stud. Brian Edwards, Hunter Renfro. I could name some. Zay Jones's catch on that little takeoff play on 3rd and 12. Again, special group of guys, and there's nothing better than being able to go out there and fight with those guys for about 3 hours.
Foster, the tight end was hit up by injuries pretty bad this year between Derek Carr and Nick Bowers and now Darren Waller. How have you all kind of responded as a unit? And what did you see out of Matt Bush? I know you said you blacked out a little bit today, but what did you see out of Matt Bushman in his first NFL snaps?
Oh, man, I was so happy for Bush. Just to be able to get his feet wet a little bit in there and able to go run, and he put some good stuff on tape. I'm really happy for Matt. Injuries have been tough. But I think guys are going to start creeping back in, and Darren's minor. Darren will be back. I'm not too worried about that. Just really happy with the standard that he sets in the room for us, and just got to try to live up to that as best we can.
Hey, Foster, Darren's often seemed like one of your biggest supporters, telling us through training camp, how much you're capable of, how big of a year you could have. With that being said, what were the conversations like with him going into this game, and how happy was he to see you excel in a bigger role?
He just preached confidence. And gave me a lot of wisdom. Told me it was going to be a dogfight, right? Because, he takes 95% of all snaps. The guy's a warrior. He's battle tested as they come. So it was a bit of shock to me, like third or fourth drive. I need that second wind. It's just being able to learn and grow and mature with him as, one of my pivotal role models is just there's truly nothing better. The guy's the model of excellence. Absolutely what it means to be a champion.
Thank you, Foster.
Thanks, guys, so much.
I'll start off by obviously congratulations to the men in the locker room. I just thought they competed with relentless effort throughout the entire game. Start to finish, if you go through our formula a little bit, we ended up +1 in the turnover margins, overcame a interception, and ended up getting 2 fumbles with big force as you look through the game. Offensively, explosive plays. We had a big play late from Alec, and then Foster's touchdown. His ability to make that catch in the end zone was huge. And then Zay Jones started us off, with the big play down the sideline. And then we got our chance to get into the fourth quarter. I thought Derek was outstanding managing the clock. I thought Greg Olson was tremendous in 4-minute offense, and certainly what he did early in the game, moving the football. We have a 6-minute drive, I believe, from the 4-yard line, 96-yard touchdown drive, took up 6 minutes. And then again, as I alluded to, the fourth quarter pass rush did a great job in the end with space tackling as we got through it. So that's, again, I thought it was a complete team effort from start to finish, and I'll take any questions that you may have.
Rich, through the 3-0 start, the 3-2 start, there was still a little bit of criticism on the offensive line. Last 2 games may have been his best. Today, its best performance. Last 6 quarters hasn't allowed a sack. Derek got hit only twice today. You just talk about this offensive line and just the growth.
Yeah, again, I think we've talked again on and on and on. Maybe what we've done a little bit offensively, with the direction that Greg's gone and his conversations with Coach Cabe. I think we're doing some things in the run game that are helping both Josh and certainly what Kenyon's doing, and it's good to get Jalen back. But I think the offensive line today set the tempo for what we were trying to do. Also, not only in the run game, but pass protection. I think, what was Derek, 31 of 34 today? So they kept him clean with no sacks. So I think they're a young group that's on the come, and they've been practicing extremely hard, working on putting their hands inside, doing a lot of those things. So they were exciting to watch today.
Rich, you alluded to Derek being 31 of 34. He was absolutely outstanding today. I'm curious for you to get to watch him lead this ship and the way he leads. Would you talk about him as a leader, both on and off the field, please?
Well, football-wise, on the field, he's a tremendous leader. He has an incredible understanding of what we're trying to do on offense. And then we can all see the relationship that him and Greg Olson have running this offense is really coming to fruition, right? And we hope that continues. But I think they both need credit when it comes to that. And then off the field, Derek is the voice of the Raiders right now, and the players always want to listen to him. They always go to him. They ask him all kinds of things. I'm developing a relationship with him as going into our 4th year together, and so we can have conversations about a lot of things. But he's a tremendous leader, both on and off the field. Football is real important to him. You can see by the way he plays.
Coach, I was just wondering if you had updates on Waller or Jacobs, and how close was Darren to playing, and then also Quentin was out all week and then gave you guys quite a lift today.
Yeah, obviously, Quentin came back yesterday and had a chance to visit with our guys. We had a chance to visit with Quentin. He felt like he was physically good to go, and then he thought where his spirit was, he was also ready to play. So he's been around a long time, and he played really well today. So, and then Darren Waller, we tried to work him out. He got hurt towards the end of Friday's practice, and we worked him out a little bit today in pregame. He just didn't feel like he was 100% that he could go. So he obviously didn't dress today. And who's the other? Josh, I think right now he's got a chest. He got hit in the chest, so we're in the process of figuring out what all that is.
About your team that you guys obviously didn't have Darren Waller and you lost Jacobs in the first half, but still scored, I think, 30 straight points. What does it say about your depth and your squad as a whole?
Well, again, I think our team, responded to the challenge of not having Darren, and certainly Foster stepped up and played really well, as we all seen and looked at the stats. And then we dressed Bushman today to give us a chance to have a backup if we had to use him. I think he played on kickoff returns, so he helped us there. We got to take Foster off of that, and we had Markel Lee up, so we could take Foster off a punt return as well. So he kind of concentrated mostly on offense, and we still played him on punt. And we had a big play coming out off the end zone there with the punt. So,
Rich, along the lines of the 30 straight points at one point, the offense for the second straight week gives up a touchdown to start the game, but then it's not until the third quarter where they give up any points. How important, obviously, is that in terms of getting the offense the ball back? You talk about possessions and moving the ball like that, but just being able to rely on the defense now.
Yeah, well, again, we're preaching turnovers, and again, what I say, we end up +1. They get the two balls knocked out, the two fumbles. So we had the good punt return, gave us good field position. But again, I can't say enough about Greg and what they're doing on offense, his direction, his leadership, and then hand in hand with what Derek's doing. And then obviously, collectively, they've been together, and I think they're doing a good job of coming out with a vision of what each game should look like. And I think Greg's spearheading that as well.
The team has gotten off to good starts in both of the previous two seasons before faltering a bit down the stretch. What's the key to making sure that they continue this high level of play in the second half of the season?
I'm just really going to concentrate on the way we played today, and this was the game that we concentrated on. That last one was over, and certainly that last season's over. So we're excited about the direction we're going in. We're excited about the work we've been getting out of these men in practice, and we'll see what tomorrow brings.
Hey, Rich, kind of similar to that, but I think a message you've said you've preached over and over is constant improvement or never-ending improvement. By the score, by the stats, these have been your two best games. What is it really about this group that's allowed them to buy into that and strive for that despite injuries and everything else that's gone on?
I think they've just decided that they're going to work each play, whether they're in the meeting or the walkthrough or practice. And then when they get to the game, I think they've really done a good job of taking the coaching and preparing themselves to finish, and I think that's what we saw today.
Coach Bisaccia, any different feel for you? Obviously, you got the first game out of the way, you being the interim coach, but having the first game for you here at Allegiant Stadium as opposed to being in Denver?
It's always exciting to play at home. We all want to play at home, and this is an unbelievable venue to play at. But, on a personal level for me, we can't wait to get to the game day, right? We can't wait to get on the grass and put all the work that they've gone through during the course of the week, see if we can put that to fruition on game day. So for us, that's the best part, is to actually get to the game day. But it was exciting, certainly, to come home and get a win.
Any more guys? Jesse? Derek Carr completed, I think it was like 91.2% of his passes today. And what is it that you've just seen from him to kind of be able to take his game to the next level thus far this year?
Well, I'd say he's pretty close to the next level if you're going to go 31 and 34, and you just said the 92%. But again, he's in concert with Greg, he's so accurate. I mean, he can literally go through an entire Wednesday and Thursday's practice, and there's possibly 2 incompletes or 3 incompletes, and he ends up throwing them again. So he's just got tremendous accuracy. He's got tremendous command of the offense. He knows where everyone's supposed to be. He's just, his first one in the building, his last one to leave. It's just his preparation I've been around a lot of good quarterbacks, but his preparation is really second to none. And I think he plays like he prepares.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
In the past, to set up the run has allowed you guys to run at your best all year.
Yeah, coming from last game to this game, really sticking to the plan to run the ball, and those those small runs become big runs, and then we set up the play action. It's we're really starting to get that rhythm, and it's worked out great for us.
Kolton, so far this season, you have yet to allow a sack, and also this was the first game of the season where the Raiders didn't allow a sack. How confident and proud are you of the way that you've played as well as the offensive line?
Great. I believe, isn't it the second game now with 0? I think Denver.
Pittsburgh or?
Denver. Well,
Denver or?
Yeah, Denver. We allowed 0. And that's huge for our guys. Asking Alex Leatherwood to, go from right tackle, he played left, and then, we made some adjustments and to go to right guard, and Brandon Parker stepping up, along with John Simpson. I believe, we see a firmer pocket presence, and, we're just getting it rolling, and I hope we can keep building off of this because, we've made some huge strides, and I'm really proud of our guys.
Kolton, when you guys go 10 plays, 96, everyone's going to talk about the passes and the runs and all that. But as an offensive lineman, can you talk about the pride in doing that kind of drive in that moment and what you guys feel at the end besides all the skill guys?
Yeah, man, we had some fun out there. I mean, it was a really awesome game. And, when we're able to drive the ball downfield and, you're leaning on them and we're getting some big passes, man, it's awesome.
Kolton, you guys had your season best mark in terms of yards per rush today, and you went over 100 yards rushing for just the second time this season. What in particular was cooking for you all in the run game today as an offensive line?
Just rolling off the ball, low pad level. Our coach always emphasizes that, low pad level, run your feet, get on the second level. And Foster had a hell of a game too. Coming back, sifting and making big blocks, and Kenyan Drake and Josh Jacobs, Jalen Richard, we were able to move the ball downfield, and it was awesome.
A rebuild offensive line coming into the season, then there's the 2 injuries to start it off. There was some criticism of this offensive line. You guys make some changes, but you as an elder statesman now on this offensive line, what were the conversations like especially with such a young offensive group alongside you, to kind of get them settled down and understanding that it's a process and that things have a possibility of working out?
Yeah, when that first switch happened, it was weird at first, and I mean there was a lot of weird things going on with the coach change. Really, we just doubled down, spend extra time after practice, and we're making huge strides with these young guys, and that's the biggest thing too. As a young guy, just getting that experience in, and it's really helped so far. Yeah.
Hey, Kolton, how would you describe the last couple of weeks, how you guys bounced back from the 2 losses, and also what happened with John? How would you describe what you've seen in the locker room and how you guys have been able to bounce back from that?
Really, that was. We went through a lot of adversity going through that. It was a big shock, but the coaches, coaches starts with coaches first. They doubled down, and we were running with them, and we're all behind. Rich Bisaccia. It's just we got a great team, and we know that, and we just got to keep making big strides, and the trust and the faith that we're rolling with right now is awesome. Yeah.
Of course, with injuries, with Richie going down, he's a team captain. He's a guy that really leads the team. With him going down, and have you really felt like you've had to step up and really truly be a leader for this offensive line?
Yeah, I guess me being not with the most experience for sure, but that just goes into our work after practice. That's our biggest thing is just try to put that work in and make those big strides and fix those little things. We can't become big-headed. Oh, we did this great job. We just got to find those little things to get better, and we'll continue to do that. All right. Thanks, Kolton. All right. Thank you, guys.
Derek, right here. Several times early in the season in training camp, the words have been said that Waller, the offense has kind of run through Darren Waller, and yet you guys were without him today, and you go throw for a career high 91%. I guess my question is simply how?
Yeah. Well, we got good players. this isn't, only his team. Now, do we miss him? Absolutely. Darren knows how I feel about him, and I think y'all do too. I think the targets themselves speak for how I feel about him. And, we laughed at it about on the sideline. I told Darren, I was like, that's so weird not having you out there. That's – and I joked around, so that's 20 targets I got to disperse to some other people now, and but we got good football players, and I think we showed today that Josh gets out the rest of the game, and Darren's out, we can still win. Foster proved how valuable he is and how good he is to this organization, how good of a football player he is. What an opportunity for him, really, and he stepped up and obviously made some outstanding plays for us down the field.
Derek, through the first 5 games, 3-0 start, the 3-2, we continue to ask you about your offensive line. You said you weren't worried about it. Last 2 games, they've been outstanding, 6 straight quarters without a sack, only 2 hits on you today.
Yeah.
You just talk about their growth.
Yeah, we're going to go as they go. If they make the holes and we have time to throw it, we feel confident in our attack. And I'm very proud of those guys, and they should get a lot of credit because we have 5 wins, right? And it all starts up front in this league. If you can dominate the line of scrimmage, you have a good chance to win the football game, and they've done a great job for us. And what they showed me in practice is why I wasn't worried. And the mistakes that would happen in games is why I wasn't worried. It wasn't cause for concern. That doesn't mean we're going to be perfect going forward. It just means that if we continue just to do right, good things happen. And so far they did a great job. I turned around on some of those run holes and some pretty big lanes in there.
Derek, just a moment ago, Coach Rich called you the unquestioned voice of this team. You are the leader of it.
Yeah.
And will you talk about, there's a couple times today I saw you going over talking to the defense before you ran on the field. Just talk about that role for you. Obviously, you're the quarterback, but now as the voice of the franchise.
Yeah. I talked a little bit to Seawood about this. When Coach Gruden would walk in a room, all eyes are on him. And when we lost that, someone has to fill that void, and it's not only me, but obviously as the quarterback and leader, I've been here a while. I was like, I got to take that part of what I do to another level. And so some of the stuff I did when other coaches were here, I would always go over there and talk to Khalil or talk to the Jelly or the defense and get them going. See Wood, all those guys, and now I'm just trying to do everything I can to encourage, uplift, and motivate our guys to keep going. In every situation. So it's not only me, but I appreciate him saying that.
Derek, you made a lot of tough throws today, but one that really struck out to me was on 4th and 1 when you found Edwards on that little slant in the end zone. Can you just talk us through what was the kind of conversation about, making sure you go for it on that play? And
Yeah, absolutely. Great catch by Hunter first on 3rd down to give us a chance to go for it, right? He makes an outstanding, unbelievable catch, on the sideline there, and I was hoping he was in, but as soon as he was not, you're so close, and the way our offensive line was moving and the way we've been throwing it today, I just looked at Rich or Coach Bisaccia, and I was like, Coach, let's go. And he looked at me, and he goes, go ahead, and Ole had a great play design, and the play of that, who made that play was Isaiah, Jones, and he's going to get mad I called him Isaiah, but Isaiah Avery Jones made the play on that one.
Derek, obviously winning is the ultimate deodorant in all of these things that have happened, but just how much fun are you guys having on the field? Because you're spreading the ball around, you're having success. Yeah. You and Greg already have that connection. Yeah. Rich seems to be a calming influence. How much fun are you having on the field?
Well, we're having a blast. Winning is fun. That's for sure. Losing in the NFL is hard on everybody, but when you win, it's a lot of fun. And right now, we are having a lot of fun. And if I pulled out my notes, the last note I always write, Saturday night, as I wrote the last couple of weeks, is just have fun, and I underline an exclamation point. Because sometimes you forget that among a lot of the questions, a lot of the things going on. It's just still a game. You got to remind yourself, have fun when you hit the field. And I think the last 2 weeks I've just tried to remind myself of that. For sure. I'm glad that you see that because we are having fun. It is something that we're preaching. Man, have fun, have a blast. We work too hard to go out there uptight and all that. Man, be free, have fun, cut it loose, and like I said, winning is what makes it fun. But I think that the guys are making plays, and the expression, the swagger that our team is showing is coming out, and it's fun.
Derek, this is the second straight week where their defense gives up an early touchdown, but then it's not until the third quarter where they're giving up any points, and by then you guys have pretty much put the game away.
Yep.
Are you getting beyond the point of being surprised at what this defense is doing, and how important is it for you guys on offense when they keep giving you the ball back?
Yeah, it's nice. Again, if we can play the type of defense that we're playing, then we're going to be able to do some good things in this down the stretch. And I'm very thankful because you can score as many points as you want, but if you give them up, it doesn't matter. And there's days where we need to rely on them, they need to rely on us, but if we can play team football and we can put points on the board and go get them a lead, and then they can play. That's the formula. That's the winning recipe. We got to play together. It can't just be one-sided. It's got to be all three phases. And the last 2 weeks we've played all three phases really well together. And special teams, maybe I don't know so much, but the other two we've done pretty well.
A few more. We'll go Vic, Ed, and Adam. Yeah, Derek. Has the depth on this team surprised you at all, or did you kind of see that coming back at camp?
I would say that our depth has just grown. Grown up. They're mature. They're experienced. That's the kind of guys grew, and Mr. Mayock brought in is we've always said, like, if Josh was out, well, we have things for everybody. And that's just how this system has been built for 4 years. The foundation of what we do. And when Darren's out, we believe Foster is a starting tight end. And so when he has to play, it's not like, oh, Darren's out. It's like, no, Foster gets to play. You see the difference, like, in the mindset. And then, you go hug Darren because you miss him, right? Obviously, he's the best, one of the best players on our whole football team. But at the same time, it's like, all right, Foster gets to play. And same thing with our running backs. Like, Jalen's in, we feel great about him. Kenyon's in, we feel great about him, when Peyton was playing, if Peyton has to play, we feel great about Peyton, And I think that even at the quarterback position, we got Marcus and Nate. Both have been starters in the NFL. Like, it's hard to find that kind of depth where you have it everywhere. Our receivers, Willie, Zay, they've all been starters at some point. And if you have that, when guys go down, there's confidence when they get in that you can just still run your plays.
Is it possible to set a tone even in the first half when you go 96 and 10 yards, and 10 plays, and then you come out like you deflate them? Was that possible? And can you just talk about that drive?
Yeah, I can't speak to their mindset. I can speak to ours, though. Is when you get the ball backed up, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to, all right, well, let's take it all the way down the field and take the air out of the sails. They pinned us deep. Great job by special teams, but let's go turn that back on them. And get. You always want to get the first down, and then get another first down. And then after that, it's like, all right, let's go score, And that's always been how I was taught. And when you can do that, again, you'd have to ask them. I don't want to speak into their mindset. But for us, as an offense, you always feel like if we can go down there and score, that has to be, like, dang, that we had a chance to stop them and get the ball at the 50 and all that. But we had some guys make some big plays on that drive for sure.
Derek, I was wondering if you thought this was a good or a bad time to have a bye week. You have so much momentum, but at the same time you have some injuries, and it's probably a good time to just take a deep breath after the last couple of weeks too.
Yeah, I would say it's a good time for us. I don't think there's anything around that. I need some time. I didn't really get time to process everything. If I'm honest, it was literally like, oh shoot, next game. And it was kind of weird like that. It wasn't like we were 0-6 and you saw something coming or anything like that. It was just a surprise. So I think with the injuries, with everything our team has been through, this bye week couldn't come at a better time, especially with the way we talked about it. When everything happens, like, guys, we have to be 5-2 at the bye. Be 5-2 at the bye. Let's get some rest, get healthy, and then let's go on a run. And we did the first part right. We got to get healthy this week. So it's not just a week off where we just lay on the couch. Like, guys have to work to get healthy. Guys have to work to get better. And if we do that and take care of business that way, then we should be able to go on a run and take care of business when it comes.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Kenyan, it seemed like you guys were pretty effective running the ball today. I know you spoke about it a little bit last week, but what kind of progression have you seen from the offensive line just in terms of run blocking?
They just continue to, take charge. Obviously, there was a very formidable opponent in the D-line, but they was able to wear them down for 4 quarters, and we were able to just kind of, just run behind them and be relentless in that attack. And then you saw like they was trying to commit 9, 10 people to the box, and we were able to play action, throw the ball over the top. So when you have an offense like that that's unpredictable, it just creates a lot of success for a lot of people.
Kenyan, when you say that the offensive line takes charge like that, how much does it make the running backs want to also then?
I mean, it starts with them. The O-line, you can only go as far as they go. And that group is just continuing to gel as the season is going on. I know they had a couple people banged up today, so it's perfect timing kind of going into the bye week. And just kind of looking forward to continue to use this momentum as the season goes on.
The last couple of games, you seem to have really broken out. Like, it's been very efficient for you. Even in every snap, you seem to be getting some pretty good yards, whether it's running the ball or catching the ball. I guess what I'm wondering is is there any different? Does it feel any different in your mindset or the game plan or anything like that that you think you can point to that would lead to that?
I mean, I don't want to sound like a broken record or just saying cliche stuff, but I just try to go out there and make the most of my opportunities. The Oli has been putting me in a great position to kind of make plays. Obviously, with Josh kind of going down and him being fine, so that was the most important thing. But I just kind of want to go out there and be a spark each and every time I'm on the field, making sure I do my job. If I have the ball, or if I don't have the ball. And these last couple of weeks, I'm just continue to feel comfortable. And the more I get opportunities, the better I feel like I get, and that's just throughout my whole entire career. And I'm just excited to continue to make plays for this team.
Kenyan, Derek completed 31 of 34. It was the second highest completion percentage in a game in NFL history. When you're out there with him, what is that like? What does that feel like to see a quarterback when he's that on time, that on task, that on target?
I just feel like there's not a throw that he can't make, whether it's downfield, checking the ball down when he needs to. When you have a quarterback that's that cerebral in terms of dissecting the defense, understanding pre-snap looks, getting us to the exact play, whether it's we need to get to a pass, we need to get to a run. It just makes the game flow just so much easier. It's almost like having a coach out there on the field. And, I enjoy playing with him because he has that ability to just be the guy that you can just rely on, when the crunch, you got four, in the center in that helm. He's just going to get the job done.
Kenyan, since they've went to using the pass to set up the run, it's opened more lanes for you guys to run, and it's helped your younger players be able to mature because they're not getting stacked at the box. Would you talk about watching that young offensive line grow up in front of you?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a great thing to see. They obviously had their struggles. I think we all, as an offense, had our struggles to begin the season. We were talking about being 3-0 and feeling like we hadn't really reached our potential on offense. And then obviously we had a couple hiccups, and the problems that we were having when we were winning were still there. So we obviously need to look ourselves in the mirror and kind of figure out, all right, what's the next move we need to make. And that, like I said, it always starts with the O-line, no matter what team you're on, what level. This game is built on the inside out. So I just love the fact that they're just continuing to grow and keep getting better. Because I don't want to sound like a broken record, but we're only going to go as far as they go.
Kenyan, a couple of weeks ago, you guys are coming off two losses. You lose your coach. There's a lot of controversy. Typically at times like that, sometimes teams go in a different direction. But it sounds like you guys inside said, no, we're not going to go that way. We're going to go this way. What does it say about the guys in that locker room and yourself that you guys made that decision and are following through on it?
It's actually kind of funny that you asked that, because before I came in today, I had this random thought about a meeting that we had earlier in the year before the season started, and it was like a mental health meeting. And we all kind of sat down in the indoor and really kind of talked about, the problems that we have on and off the field. And I felt like at that moment that this team was in a different kind of headspace than any team that I had ever really been on. So with that being said, as the season kind of went on, I can see us continue to gel, and then when adversity hit, it only made us stronger. And I look forward to continue to play with these guys. I love going to work every day. I love seeing every single person that's there. Not saying that that wasn't the case before when I was on any other teams, but this team is something special, and I feel like a lot of people around this league feel that same way.
Kenyan, the games against the Chargers and the Bears, two kind of down weeks for you offensively. Then these last two, you guys have put up 30-plus as offense. What's been the biggest difference overall on offense for you guys?
Continue to stay on schedule, making plays in a timely fashion. We've been able to run the ball a lot more efficient than the few weeks prior. And that creates the defense to kind of be on their heels, because obviously we had the vertical gain like throughout the first 3, 4, 5 weeks. But then when you can start pounding teams and they have to kind of put more people in the box, that creates now that you have Henry Ruggs on the outside, Brian Edwards, obviously the tight ends doing their thing. And shout out to Foster Moreau, like stepping up in the absence of Darren Waller, National Tight End Day. I know that's big for him, and I'm just excited to continue this, just to see this team do the things that we need to do. Because from the inside out, I feel like we're solid, and I feel like we can continue to win games.
All right, thanks guys. Next game.
Yes, sir. Y'all stay safe.
Yannick, it seems this season actually it's definitely the case. Each game, there's somebody on the team that gets multiple sacks. I think there's only been one game this season where somebody didn't have multiple sacks, but it seems to be just about every week it's somebody different. You've had a couple of them. Do you have any explanation of why that might be?
Yeah, it's simple. It starts in practice with Coach Marinelli, the way he pushes us as a D-line, and also Coach Gus, as a whole unit. He demands greatness, and that's what we try to push for each and every day. And when you got guys like Max Crosby, Solomon Thomas, Quentin Jefferson, the list goes on and on, things like that can happen.
Yannick, a couple weeks ago, you're coming off a 2-game losing streak. You lose your coach. There's a lot of controversy. A lot of times in situations like that, teams can head in the wrong direction. But it sounds like you guys decided you're not going to let that happen. You're going to move in the right direction. Why? Why was this team able to the business the way you have and got yourself back on this right track?
I think Coach Bisaccia, he's doing an amazing job, a great job, just the structure that he's laid down and that foundation, the way we practice, it shows in the game. And on all phases, he's a man that demands excellence as well. He's a guy that he takes no BS, so I feel like the team is responding really well to the way he's going about it, and I feel like that's why a lot of things are happening like that.
Yannick, you've really made Max Crosby a better player. He's credited you. He's listened. But he's also helped you.
Absolutely.
Because the two of you together have been a blessing for each other. Would you talk about how you've helped him, but how he's also helped you, please?
Absolutely. That's my brother. I'm going to speak on how he's helped me. He's helped me the way we practice. We always compete with each other, from our get-offs to how clean we eat, to all the way to how much extra work we put in after practice. If you watch practice, we're the last two guys to leave. And I always notice him looking at me and trying to figure out how he can compete. And I'm always doing the same thing, trying to look at him to figure out how I can compete. And that's what I love about him. He's a guy that busts his ass every day. I see a lot of myself in him, and that's why he's having tremendous success.
Yannick, I wanted to ask you something very similar to that. I mean, we've heard over and over how big the competition between you and Max has helped push this team. He breaks out last week and has just a huge game. Did that kind of give you a little extra push, a motivation for it to be your turn today?
Absolutely. Like I said, man, that's like my brother. We push each other all the time. We're trying to be a dynamic duo. And, we want to be like the greats, like the Vons and the D-Wares and guys like that. So we push each other each and every day, and that's what it is.
Yannick, of course, not to get too deep into it, but Quinn Jefferson was out for the week with some personal stuff, and then he came back to play today, not just as a teammate, but as a friend of Quentin's. How proud of you were him to come back and play today and have the game that he had?
For a guy to not practice the whole week and make a turnover like that, it speaks volumes of how much he loves this game. So obviously when he was away, he was handling his business, watching tape, handling his business the way he was eating. So, I'm not surprised. I went to college with Q. We did 3 years with each other, and he's always been that kind of player, and I'm just happy for him to finally get recognition for it.
The first drive the Eagles came out and kind of went right down the field. Did you guys kind of take that personally as a challenge the rest of the way?
Yeah, absolutely. We predicate ourselves on not allowing people to score, and they get paid too. So we responded back really well as a unit, and all credit to Coach Gus for putting us in position to be able to execute.
Jan, the secondary has been kind of banged up the last few weeks with injuries. Obviously, you guys want to have success in the pass rush anyway, but how have you, sort of helped them out, with the way you've been able to pressure opposing quarterbacks and make their life a little bit easier?
Yeah, man. Rush and cover goes together. Those guys are doing a great job. I love that people can come in and step up. Casey Hayward, just all the guys, man. They're doing super great, man. They're helping us out, and hopefully we're doing our thing as a D-line to, return the favor.
And you touched on it a little bit earlier, but how much of a calming influence is Rich Bisaccia on the sidelines? I mean, it seems like he's very clinical. When he's up here, he seems kind of, I don't know if cold is the right word, but he just seems like he's just a calming kind of influence for you guys out there.
Yeah, if you do your job and be on time, and you'll be on this good side. And man, I love Coach, man. Coach, me and him are like this. We have similar views on a lot of things about how we go about our work. And like I said, it starts in practice. The way he has practice set up and structured, I just feel like it's super effective in getting guys ready for Sundays.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you.